Us again this morning. We see that poll. Des Moines Register has you in the lead. But are you confident you have the organization to turn those supporters into voters? You're counting on a lot of people who haven't caucused before.
Well, I am, and they say the more people that get out, the better I do, and I think we're going to have a big crowd. The blizzard supposedly is going to be on Tuesday, not on Monday or Monday night, and hopefully that'll hold, but they think record attendance will happen tonight, and if that happens, I'm supposedly, according to the pollsters, in very good shape. We have a great bonding, as you see by the big surge that we've had in the poll in Iowa, a very important poll.
There is some vulnerability there as well, though. Half the voters in the poll say they're less comfortable with you now as the GOP nominee, less comfortable with you, with the idea you're going to be representing America to the world. How do you convince them you're ready to be commander-in-chief?
Well, for one thing, I've done very well against Hillary one-on-one. I beat her in the polls. I beat her in a recent Fox poll very easily, and I beat her in other polls. And I'm the one that's going to beat Hillary, assuming she makes it to the gate, which is questionable, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens. And I think that's a very important factor. And I think the big factor, if you look at Iowa and this one, is how well I'm doing with evangelicals. I'm leading with evangelicals. I'm leading with Tea Party. I'm doing great in every aspect throughout the nation. And we look forward to an interesting season. We begin, hard to believe, we begin in one day. Hard to believe.
Fun. The votes are finally here. You mentioned Hillary Clinton. Ted Cruz is hitting you hard on your relationship with Hillary Clinton. Brand new ad released overnight. Here it is.
I live in New York. She lives.
He says America needs a fighter, not a deal maker.
Well, you need a deal maker, too. You can't have just somebody standing on the Senate floor and nobody even endorses you. Here's a guy with all of these senators, not one endorsement of Cruz, because he's a nasty guy. Nobody likes him, and you can't run a country that way. It'll be a total mess. It'll be worse gridlock than you have right now. Right now you have gridlock. As far as Hillary Clinton is concerned, when I was in business, I was a world-class businessman. I built one of the great companies, and that's what I intend to do with the country, bring it back to health, because it's dying with $19 trillion in debt and lots of other problems. And frankly, when I was in business, I got along with everybody, George. I got along with Democrats. I got along with liberals. I got along with conservatives and Republicans. I happen to have a conservative way of thought. I happen to be a Republican. But when you're a businessman, you have to get along with everybody. You can't just say, I'm going to get along with a small group, because you won't be able to function that way. So I got along, and I was proud, even worldwide, I got along with everybody.
Ted Cruz is also saying a vote for Trump is a vote for Obamacare. And there's a full-page ad in the Des Moines Register this morning, which is bringing up that, saying that you're basically in the last few months for single-payer government-run health insurance. Also that you've called for continued federal funding for Planned Parenthood. On that Obamacare issue right there, he's saying because you want the government to pay for everyone to have health care, that is just like Obamacare.
Look, Ted Cruz is a total liar. I am so against Obamacare. I've been saying it for 2 years in my speeches. I'm going to repeal and replace Obamacare. I don't even know where he gets this, but he's a liar. He didn't even put down in his financial disclosure forms that he borrowed money from banks at low-interest loans, lower than you could get, lower than anybody could get. He's got these favorable deals from banks on Wall Street, and he never put it down in his financial disclosure forms. I mean, look, Ted is a liar. This is why nobody likes him. This is why he doesn't have one endorsement from one senator. Not one. He works with these senators. Doesn't have one endorsement. I am so against Obamacare.
Any senators endorsed you yet?
They will be very soon.
You have anyone to announce?
A number of them. And by the way, we have tremendous endorsements. Jerry Falwell Jr. just endorsed me from Liberty University. Seen every candidate goes through Liberty University. He endorsed me, which is probably one of the reasons I went so high with the evangelicals. Sarah Palin just endorsed me, which is a great endorsement. Sheriff Joe from Arizona, the toughest guy on the border, Sheriff Joe, Arizona, the toughest there is on the border, just endorsed me in big league. I have great endorsements, and many more are coming. I will tell you, many more are coming.
You say that Ted Cruz is a liar, but you have said that you want everyone to be covered on health care, and the government's going to pay for it. How is that not like Obamacare?
That's true. I want people taken care of. I have a heart. I want people taken care of. If people have no money, we have to help people, but that doesn't mean single payer. It means we have to help people. If somebody has no money and they're lying in the middle of a street, and they're dying, I'm going to take care of that
How do
person
you do
and
it?
try and get them back to health. We're going to work with our hospitals. We're going to work with our doctors. We've got to do something. You can't have a small percentage of our economy, because they're down and out, have absolutely no protection, so they end up dying from, what you could have a simple procedure or even a pill. You can't do that. We'll work something out. That doesn't mean single payer. And, maybe he's got no heart. And if this means I lose an election, that's fine. Because, frankly, we have to take care of the people in our country. We can't let them die on the sidewalks of New York or the sidewalks of Iowa or anywhere else. But that's not single payer. And as far as Obamacare is concerned, one of the staples of my speech, and you can ask any of my many supporters, is repeal and replace Obamacare. It's a disaster. The premiums are going up 25, 35, 45%, George. You take a look at what's going on with Obamacare is an outrage. It's probably going to fail on its own unless the Republicans renew it like they have been in 17. But by 17, Obamacare will fail on its own. But a whole staple of my campaign is repealing, getting rid of Obamacare and replacing it.
You and Ted Cruz are really going at it. Any concern that Marco Rubio is going to sneak up the middle here?
Well, you never know. Look, it's an election. I sort of doubt it. I don't know. I have tremendous support. One of the things I'm most proud of is a number that you gave, that my people are most committed to me. The people that I have are far and away, double, triple, and quadruple. They're committed to me. They're not going anywhere because they have confidence in me. I've built a great company, one of the great companies, some of the greatest assets in the world, low debt, tremendous cash flow. And by the way, I'm self-funding my own campaign. I'm putting all my money into my campaign. I'm not borrowing like Ted Cruz from the oil men and from other special interests. This guy's borrowing from people. He's 100%. He is 100% in their pocket. He's going to do whatever they want him to do. I've turned down hundreds of millions of dollars from people that wanted to support my campaign because I don't want their money. Because once they give me their money, they influence me. I don't want to be influenced. The only one that's going to have influence on me is the American people. I'm going to do what's right for the American people for the first time in many, many years.
Mr. Trump, I was there at your announcement in June, did the first interview right after. Tell the truth right now. Did you ever imagine then that on the eve of the Iowa caucuses, you'd be leading pretty big in every state?
The truth is, no, I didn't. I thought, look, I'm somebody that knows how to win. I closed the deal. You know that about me for a long time. I do close the deal. I do win, but I never thought I'd have 24-point leads in different states. In Florida, I'm 48, and the sitting senator is 11. And Bush is down in the basement, much lower than that. And, this is in the state of Florida. I never thought I'd have the kind of leads. In New Hampshire, I have a 22-point lead. Actually, Iowa is the closest. I guess the poll just came out. I have a 5 or 6 point lead. And I think the people of Iowa are going to really surprise
anything.
They know that these phony ads these people put out there, such lies like Obamacare. Nobody is more negative on Obamacare than Donald Trump.
Finally,
and nobody knows health care better than Donald Trump.
Anything you wish you would have done differently? Any adjustments you need to make going forward?
Well, you can always look back, and maybe you could have changed a word or two, but the answer is no, George. I'm leading in the national polls by, in some cases, 22 points and even more. I think it's hard to say that I would have made, changes, but certainly I could have changed a word or two, but I really would say no. I'm very happy. I have unbelievable people that are going to be voting for me, and the thing I'm most proud about is you just take a look. By far, you just announced it this morning, by far the most loyal people are the people that are going to go out and vote or caucus for 48, and the sitting senator is 11, and Bush is down in the basement, much lower than that. And this is in the state of Florida. I never thought I'd have the kind of leads. In New Hampshire, I have a 22-point lead. Actually, Iowa is the closest. I guess the poll just came out. I have a 5 or 6 point lead. And I think the people of Iowa are going to really surprise.
Anything.
They know that these phony ads these people put out there, such lies like Obamacare. Nobody is more negative on Obamacare than Donald Trump.
Finally,
and nobody knows health care better than Donald Trump.
Anything you wish you would have done differently? Any adjustments you need to make going forward?
Well, you can always look back, and maybe you could have changed a word or two, but the answer is no, George. I'm leading in the national polls by, in some cases, 22 points and even more. I think it's hard to say that I would have made, changes, but certainly I could have changed a word or two. But I really would say no. I'm very happy. I have unbelievable people that are going to be voting for me. And the thing I'm most proud about is you just take a look. By far, you just announced it this morning, by far the most loyal people are the people that are going to go out and vote or caucus for